I had two officers come in. This was earlier. I didn't write the time exactly, but it was like around like 11-ish a.m., something like that, around like almost noon. Lieutenant Kepler and First Sergeant Fenner. Lieutenant Kepler was the one talking to him, like asking all the questions and all that. Fenner was just like backing him up. They came and took me to a room right there in the same pod. They turned on an audio recorder and they talked to me about, like, they said, like, what's going on, as if, like, they're trying to make it look like I'm in fear of inmates. I said, I'm not in fear of inmates, and they're trying to put me on PC. He's like, we can put you on PC. I said, I will never be on PC. Do you know the title of PC? It's only for rapists or people that's, like, you're trying to humiliate me on a whole different level. Like, that's not going to happen. If they just did their job and reprimanding correctional officers, I wouldn't have any issues at all. But you have some weird correctional officers in here that are threatening, that's calling me names as well, and they're supporting and green-lighting all these violent inmates that are committing crimes. So you need to coach them properly. So I'm telling them, I'm not afraid from another inmate. I have the right to defend myself. Like, I went to Taekwondo when I was young. If I have a wild person coming at me, I'm going to defend myself. You know, like, I'm not a pussy. I'm a man. I will defend myself. I'm not afraid of other inmates. I'm in fear of my life for correctional officers coming into my cell, handcuffing me and beating the crap out of me. Yeah, I'm in fear of that. So if you put me on PC, you're basically covering my window and you're allowing them to come into the dark and beating the shit out of me. Like, you're allowing that. So this is professional conduct. The conduct of professional services, or whatever the fuck they're called. That's their title, right? They're coming in there and they put the audio recorder as if, like, they're recording me. I said, I don't care if you have this audio recording. I don't care, basically, I don't care who's listening. You know what I mean? The walls have ears. But it's just like an act. And then I told them, Lieutenant Suda, Sergeant Daniels, Malinsky, Tipton, they came in my cell, and with other correctional officers that I don't even know. They beat the shit out of me until I blacked out on May 24th. They dragged me down the stairs unconscious, like in an inhumane way. And they took me to cell 1. They continued the beating and denying me medical. That's something that cannot ever change. You can't play with facts. And I was like, why don't you just review the camera so we don't have to really speak? You don't have to take my word for it. I don't want any special treatment. Just, like, follow procedures. So I told him, like, Major Hurtlock looked into it. And he said procedures were followed. So I'm like, what kind of procedures do you guys do here? I literally saw Sergeant Golden, Sergeant G, tase somebody multiple times to the point where he was unconscious and they just wheeled him out in a wheelchair. He just disappeared. Like, that was, like, prior to me getting beat up on May 24th. So what kind of procedures are going on here? So that's one. Talked about that incident. Talked about the flooding of my cell. I said the trustees, they work here. So they have access to do whatever they want to do. Okay. And how do you pop my cell door open? It's a click of a button. You just go behind the desk, behind the computer, and just press a button, and the cell door would open wide open. So these trustees are big, wild, and rabid. They're angry. They're like, I'm not scared, but I am in fear, I would say. Like, if I'm in my cell, vulnerable, in the corner, and you got gigantic monsters coming into your cell, come on, man, I'm not a gangster or anything. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'll beat them up. They will fuck me up. So let's be honest, it's not a fair battle. You know what I mean? So if my cell door opens with someone just pressing the button behind the desk, yeah, they're going to come in here. They said they're going to fucking kill me. And they're going to beat the shit out of me. They're tampering with my food. So I'm barely, even having the appetite to eat anything. I have to smell my food before I get it because they're saying they're going to put their dick in my tray. So, but when you threaten my life, I take that very seriously. And we're talking about correctional officers that are not doing their jobs. These motherfuckers, they got blood on their hands, and they're using a badge to hide behind the badge. They need to be reprimanded, retrained, or fired. They need to work at McDonald's or somewhere else.
Hey,
that would allow this type of behavior.
Yeah,
it's not acceptable.
I
just want to let you know,
just hang in there.
Lieutenant Kepler, he kept on saying, have you talked to a therapist? I'm like, where was the therapist at when I lost my girlfriend and 5-year-old daughter in a car accident where I've been crying for 2 months straight in here? He's like, well, they don't know what you're going through unless you tell them. So I said, if you put yourself in my jumpsuit and I put myself as a correctional officer and I see you crying in your cell, I would stop and say, hey, are you okay? Or what's going on? Like, I would ask. I've been crying for the first 2 months like a crybaby in here, and inmates are calling me a bitch and a pussy for crying. Yeah, I'm crying because I lost my loved ones. I'm not a pussy because I'm crying. It's just a human way, but no more tears coming out my eyes. You will never see a tear coming out of my eyes unless you bring me a piece of onion. Maybe that's going to bring tears out of my eyes. That's just natural. Or if I eat something spicy, or it's going to be tears of joy when I'm acquitted and the truth is out. That's the only time you'll ever see me crying. You'll never see me crying over anything. I pray to God, and my sadness is within spirit. I talk to God with conviction in my heart. If I didn't pray in private, then I wouldn't really believe in the Creator. There's a higher power that created us. This is not the Big Bang Theory. We do have a purpose on this earth, and I'm still alive, and I'm here to tell my story. So I'm sitting in hell, and I'm here barely breathing. It's hard for me to inhale, and at the same time, I'm suffering, but I'm patient. I'm patient because I believe I'm innocent 100%, and when the truth is out, I'm out.
Whatever.
You know how insulting?
Yeah.
It's insulting to the most degree. Insulting. They're coming in here acting like they care. They're like, and like we can put you on protective custody. Do you know what PC is around here? Have you been in jail before? Like, you know, they're like, yeah, like as if they care. If they put me on PC, people are going to think I'm a rapist. I mean, I have never done anything wrong in my life. So I'm thinking like they want to cover up my window with a gray tarp where I can't see the outside of... The last freedom that I have is to look outside of my cell metal door window to see what's happening on the pods. If that's any freedom. And they want to take that away from me. They want to cover up my window and act like, yeah, we're going to put you on protective custody. From what? How are you going to protect me from violent correctional officers that are going to beat the shit out of me?
Mustafa,
you know what I mean?
These correctional officers that beat you up in May, Suda, Correctional Officer Suda, Correctional Officer Malinsky, Correctional Officer Tifton, Correctional Officer Sergeant Daniel, and the rest that I don't have their names, but it's coming up. The FBI has their names. We're going to get the camera. We're going to get the camera for the beating. And these same correctional officers that are encouraging these inmates to threaten you, kill you, and on their watch, they're encouraging this behavior. They think they can play this game when no one sees these games, and they can do it behind closed doors. Well, the FBI is watching, Department of Justice is watching, Homeland Security turns, Cole is watching, and they are watching. They've got eyes and ears inside that jail. It's only a matter of time before they get everything, and then they hold these correctional officers accountable. That jail leadership is on notice that if anything happens to you, they're on notice, and they will be prosecuted. Do you understand?
Thanks, man.
Well, just be patient.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Be patient. The community is listening to your voice. I'm putting this online so that way the community, so no department can cover up for any other department. Everybody that's complicit in what's happening inside that jail facility is going to be held accountable. The superintendent, Colonel Melitis, he's been notified. We sent him an email that if anything happens to you, he's on notice, and it's on his hand. It's under his watch that this is happening. Sheriff Glenn Hill, if anything happens, this is on his watch that this is happening. So just be patient. Be patient.
Thanks a lot, man. And I just want to let you know, Lieutenant Kepler, the guy with professional conduct today, he said that those same correctional officers that, like, so I'm telling him they beat me up, and First Sergeant Fenner was saying, because I said there are witnesses. He said, what are the witnesses' names? I stopped and I said, in my head, like, I don't want to tell you the witnesses' names. I told the FBI, yes, but I'm not telling you because they're going to tamper with evidence. So he said, that's fair enough. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing, Lieutenant Kepler, I told him about the incident on May 24th, right, when they beat the shit out of me. He said that are they threatening you, or is it inmates? He wants to take it away from correctional officers so that he can put me on PC, and he's trying to say that he can put me on PC against my will. I said, no, you can't. I do not consent to be on PC. I would never want to be on PC ever. And if you ever want to humiliate me like that, not in your fucking dreams. Okay? I'm sitting here. I'm not in fear of inmates. I'm in fear of corrupt correctional officers. So that's my voice, and that should be heard.
Mustafa.
And right now you let them know.
Yeah, right now it's October 18. Today's Wednesday. Time is 3:30. I'm ending this recording.